Hey, it's me again. My last video I was kind of out of it entire, and now I am a little more well, not well rested. I didn't go to sleep, but this is definitely later on in the day, so I'm not completely out of it. But I don't know. I feel like whenever I'm like posting something, it's usually me complaining or talking about however I'm feeling. I suppose that was the intent on my more voice operated videos was to kind of just not necessarily vent, but give my opinions and views and such. And now it's I feel like it's becoming more of like a venting thing where I just kind of complain for a set amount of time while there's footage of a game in the background. I don't entirely hate that though. This is kind of therapeutic, but I guess I'll just get along with it. You know what I hate? I hate like I can't even exactly put. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna do my best. I hate when I was listening. My brain's all over the place. Adventure Time Distant Lands. That second series of Adventure Time that came out around like 2021. It's been going on for like a few months now, and I think they're on like episode four. Before it even released, I heard that they were only going to release four episodes, and every episode was going to be like an hour, and I don't think any of that was true. Well, I mean, it's only two things, but I don't think any of the episodes actually were an hour, and they're at four now, so I don't know if they're done or if they're going to keep it going. I think it's a pretty good show, though. I heard Fiona and Cake were going to get their own show, too. Completely unrelated to what I was going to get at, though. There's a song by I believe it's Olivia Olson, which is the person who plays Marceline or who voices Marceline, and then there's somebody else. I believe their name is Half Shy, something like that. There, there was a song that they released called Monster, and it's in the Adventure Time Distant Lands soundtrack, or at least I've seen it on Spotify. And this soundtrack goes over this song, this specific song, spoiler alert, by the way, if you hadn't seen it, spoiler alert. I would probably actually, I'm not going to like break down everything. You can just go watch it yourself, unless like I leave a review or something on it, which I doubt I ever will. But you never know. Really, what I was getting at was the lyrics are kind of hitting me right now. As of late, they have been hitting me like from the moment I've seen it onward, it hit kind of hard and then it just sits there. But there's a line or two. Marceline says something like, I've always felt like a monster long before I was bit. And then there was another line where she says, I grew tough because love had only hurt me back, but loving you's a good problem to have. Those four lines have been kind of sticking me for a while. Also, there's like unreleased versions of the song with like an extra verse about like I believe why Marceline was keeping Princess Bubblegum's like rock shirt that she gave her that one time that we saw like way back in the original Adventure Time. And those covers are like made by like I don't want to say genuine artists because like everybody it seems like everybody on that show can sing, but they it was done by like artists that I guess you wouldn't really expect to hear on Adventure Time, and you probably I don't even think their songs were being played throughout like the episodes themselves. They were just like bonus tracks. Excuse me. So like I'm trying to give an example, like an understanding. It'd be like you're watching Adventure Time, right? And Childish Gambino plays Marshall Lee, and he does like the um, what song like the little freestyle that he does, right? He does that, and then there'd be like some deleted track where like um, Tyler the Creator is voice acting Marshall Lee, and he does like a bonus verse in it, right? I mean that's not like what actually happened, but that's like in my eyes, I guess the equivalent of what's going on in like the Distant Land soundtrack. But those four lines were getting me because, well, first off, I don't know why it is as of late, but I've been checking like CoStar and reading up on apps that like read into your sign and whatnot, just because sometimes they give great advice and help me see I suppose how I'm feeling deeper down inside, because things are always bothering me, but then again, it's not like I'm always allowing them to. And when I get put in a situation where I feel like maybe I'm just, a little probably confused on how I'm feeling or why I'm feeling a certain way, it's good to, like stop, take a break, and like look at what all I've been going through um, during that period to like build up towards that. And apps like Toadstar, or I forget, I'm blanking on like the name of the other one. I believe it was Sanctuary, and listening to like the little Spotify podcast of My Sign also help me break down why I might be thinking or feeling the way that I'm thinking or feeling, right? And yes, she was it. She said there was one of the lines. She said, "I always felt like a monster long before I was bit." Oh, and then there was another one where she said that uh, her, and I'm pretty sure she was referencing to Bonnie, were messed up kids that didn't know how to live, and she always felt like she wasn't good enough. The these lines, man, these lines, they're hitting me. Um, I'm currently in this weird like part of my life where, while growing up, I didn't really date a lot, at least not in person. A lot of my like relationships were more so online or long distance, which I don't know. I guess might sound weird to some people, but it was more than like texting or typing. It wasn't like I'd never seen or spoken to, like heard the voice of the people that I was with. We'd like video chat and stuff. But I know I talked about that in like a video like way back when in the past, so I'm not gonna, you know, speak on that much now. But um, I'm I don't know why, but like during this time now, I'm meeting more people through, whether it's like dating apps or like platforms that are meant for like business or meeting friends, or pretty much just anything. Even like at school, I'm like meeting more people and speaking to more people as if like I'm growing more social and getting out of that shell that I was in. And it's a very strange thing to happen, because now I guess I am coming into the range of people who genuinely like me, and that's a new experience, because growing up, not a lot of people did, or at least not in the sense of seeing me as someone like that they would see themselves dating. I had maybe like one or two people compliment me, but they never, it never went anywhere after that. And for like years, people would always kind of just stay away from me or laugh at me, kind of see me as like a younger sibling, but never as like somebody that they could see themselves with, if that makes sense. And if there were people like that, they never came out and said it. But I was always watching. Well, I wasn't always watching, but at a specific point, I was watching to kind of see. And I have to like throw that in because in a previous video I mentioned that one of my exes actually went for one of my friends not too long ago. And I mean, it could have been that they genuinely liked one of my friends like way back when we were all in school together. But at the same time, that same friend is like really improved in life as well. Better money, better body. They've moved out. They're staying in their own place. They got somewhat a better job as well as their own car. So they're really like doing their thing, and I'm proud of them, happy for them. But when you have like somebody who barely used to talk to you, barely put any energy into you, coming out of the woodwork, especially at a time like that, just to tell you that they've always had feelings for you, it's a red flag. Plus, my ex was the type of person who, I wouldn't say didn't know how to love, but I mean, that's probably the best way that I can put that. They never seemed like the type of person who would allow themselves to love. Everything was lust based, which isn't terrible, but if you're looking for like commitment, it's bad. All right. Um, but back to what I was saying, I found myself in a bit of a predicament. So, what would that predicament be? I'm glad you didn't ask. The predicament is I was with somebody for a little while who genuinely liked me. You know, we spent a lot of time together, getting close, and it had me thinking, excuse me, that we would like be something. But it turned out sometime during that time, well, it turned out that they had been with somebody else the entire time. Like they were in a relationship while cozying up and getting close with me. And at one point, they decided to tell me, and I didn't necessarily know what to say about it. You know, like previous me, you know, like me before I started making a change to become more social and be a little more active and, you know, change my life around. Previous me would be like, no, red flag, not gonna do it. But, you know, now that I've been reading more on like platforms that talk about my signs and help me better understand how I'm feeling or help me take that leap into my uncomfort zone and getting to know myself better and take risks. I was, you know, that new version of me that I'm trying to manifest in a sense was like, well, hey, you know, let's just keep going. Let's take the risk and see where things go. And I did for a while, and things were great. No regrets. I'll never live with a regret. That will be my rule, or has been my rule for a while now. No regrets. Whatever I do, you know, I'm doing it. I want to do it. So things were going, you know, that way, and things were pretty great. Um, no serious issues. I guess you can basically say I was in like a friends with benefits type of relationship. I ended up finding somebody else who was genuinely cool and who genuinely liked me for me, and wanted they thought about being in a close relationship with me, if that makes sense. Um, they saw me and was like, hey, yeah, you know, like I really like how you are and blah blah this blah blah that, and so they were starting to get close to me. So I had, you know, this person getting close to me, and I had this person that I was already somewhat close with, and I explained my relationship to the person that was starting to get close with me about like the friends with benefits thing that I had, and at the time I was trying to stop it, right? Like I wasn't trying to stop the friendship entirely, but just the with benefits part, because at one point, you know, my conscience kicked in and guilt came in, and I came to a few realizations while learning more about them. And so the person who was getting to know me, excuse me, was telling me that they were in a similar relationship, and so they have an idea of kind of what's going on, rather, except theirs hurt them more than mine could hurt me, if that makes sense. And they basically convinced me, hey, you know, you should just go for what you want, but you know they're also pushing this ultimatum that they're looking for commitment. You know, they're not looking for a friends with benefits thing, which is actually what I was looking for from the beginning, was commitment. So I ended up letting the friends with benefits one know, hey, I'm definitely stopping now because I want to go towards something that's worth committing to. Not saying that they aren't, but you know, at the time they had already had someone, so they have a commitment. I want a commitment. You know what I mean? So, excuse me. They didn't take it so well. Long story short, they didn't take it so well, and um, I still tried to keep the friendship afloat the best I could. But I kept wondering, you know, like the what ifs. You know, I had one day my signs were telling me, what ifs. You know, think about the what ifs. Whatever happens now, you know, it's not like it's gonna seriously affect you in the next like 10, 20 years. You know, you should just live life. That was basically the messages that my signs were giving me, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't, be so quick to jump towards a commitment with somebody that I haven't spent as much time with, because the person who was getting to know me had just met me compared to like the person that I had been talking to for a while, and so like all that happened, right? Well, I was trying to be like the person, the friend who would help the person that like I've known for a while. I'm just gonna like call him person A, person B. Probably should have done that from the beginning. Well, I've been trying to help person A keep their relationship intact by being that friend who like gives them emotional support. But person A has been, complaining over time that they're looking for something different. They're looking for change. They didn't think that they had any more options out there for them, and that the person that they're with isn't necessarily their best fit. At least that's how they feel. To speed everything up, I basically helped. Well, I don't want to say I helped. It kind of feels more so like I hurt. You know what I mean? Person A left the person that they were with, and I believe that they did it for me, but I know it's not specifically for me. I know that they also want to see what else or who else is out there, and obviously they're hurting for it, but at the same time, they know that they're a little happier. They've gotten that weight off, so they're going towards other options. And I'm just in a rut. Like, am I supposed to ask person A out now that they're single, even though, you know, right? Right? Am I supposed to ask them out now, or should I give it time? They clearly told me what they want. I just thought that they needed some time to grieve and to think for themselves. It's clear that they're hurting and they're not great at communicating. So what should I do? You know, um, I mean, I'm the best that I can think of is that I should just be myself around them because that's all I've been doing, and they like me for me, which is a first. But yeah, that's what's been troubling me today. They got their own issues, and it's like I'm taking their issues in and applying them to myself. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because when you genuinely care for somebody, you're gonna step out of your own skin to let them in, so you can do for them what they may not be able to do for themselves. I mean, if you care, right? I feel like that's what a lot of people do. But at the same time, it's sort of like I'm lost, right? Like I don't know what the next step should be. Should I tell person B that I'm gonna look towards person A, or should I just wait it all out and see how time unfolds? And when relating to those lyrics that I mentioned earlier, I've been getting this feeling as of late like I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough because it feels like I'm hurting person A. And what if like the relationship that I was building with person A is collapsing because of everything that's just happened? Should I move over to person B? And which is even worse because if I've been hurting person A and I'm leaving them, then I feel like I'm gonna be hurting person B because I'm not necessarily good enough to be in a relationship. Like that's how it feels. It feels like I don't deserve a relationship, like I don't deserve love. And I guess that's probably one of the harder feelings that I can take right now. But that's not the only thing. I've also got a few other issues happening as well. I've got a friend who might be person C who's been flirting with me and talking and sort of chilling with me, but they're going through a lot right now. And I saw them break down the other day, and I couldn't help them. And I know you can't help everybody, but the last thing you want to do is see somebody you care about breaking down. And the last thing you want to experience is having them break down, and you can't do anything to prevent it or at least lighten the pain. Um, and then I'm also dealing with some of the issues with school, and I have some issues at home that I suppose have to be handled. There's just a lot, and I mean I'm just like any other person, you know. If I'm experiencing this, probably some extra other person's experiencing something like this too. Like everybody's got their own issues that they have to go through, and it's a lot of thinking and planning that goes through all of it. But this is just kind of like me venting. It's been helping me a bit to talk about what's been bothering me and just uploading it. And maybe, you know, somebody else will hear it and be like, wow, I'm going through this exact same thing. I'm looking for advice, or I don't feel so alone knowing now that I'm not the only one, you know? But I don't know, they seem like some pretty specific scenarios. Plus, this just gives me another reason to make another video because I do have some extra footage from Dungeon Fighter that I wanted to post. I got some extra footage from a handful of games. Also, my OBS is busted right now, and I have to fix it. But I saw like a step-by-step process on how to fix it, and I just don't have the drive to do it right now. I don't have a drive to do a lot lately. I don't know. It's like my energy's just being sucked out of me. All right. See you.